So there are reports circulating on social media platforms suggesting that we have 3 more CS who wants to resign from President William Ruto's government. And I've seen the name of Justin Muturi and the land CS Alice Wahome. The third person, I'm seeing people throwing names, but that is subject to confirmation. But so far, it is believed that many people want to leave President William Ruto's government, especially those from the Mount Kenya region. Where William Ruto has completely lost the mountain. That is so obvious, that is so open. And so the people from the mountain, especially those who support him, they see no future as far as their interest is concerned. So the likes of Justin Muturi, who wants to be the next Embu governor, wants to get out as soon as now, so that he can start prepare himself. And the only way for Justin Muturi to capture that gubernatorial seat is by going against President William Ruto, because anybody in the mountain who is supporting President William Ruto is definitely going on. There is nothing about it. You see, the biggest mistake that President William Ruto made when he was immediately after he was sworn in, he tried to control everything. President William Ruto wanted to be the president that anybody bows down to him, and that is the biggest mistake he ever made. And I know, I feel like sometimes he regrets about it. You see, after the Kenya Kwanza government captured the opposition and the parliament and the judiciary, and now he made it obvious to Kenyans that I want to control you. I want to completely control you. And that is the biggest mistake that he did. William Ruto created Gen Z movement. There is nothing I can say that just came out. William Ruto personally and through his ways of doing things created the Gen Z movement. You see, after he captured the parliament and the judiciary, the public felt that they have no representative. You see, the public always want to have a representative in anything, somebody to amplify their voices. The public always wants somebody to amplify their voices. But in President William Ruto's kind of leadership, President William Ruto blocked all that. Blocked the public, blocked the members of parliament from representing the people they are supposed to represent, and also the judiciary. So the public were left alone. The public were left to decide for themselves. And that is when the public rised up. And that is when the Gen Z movement was born, because people felt like, hey, there is nobody to raise our concerns. There is nobody to represent us. There is nobody to take care of our concern. And that, because there is nobody to do that, we have to rise. And we have to rise and fight for that. And that is when the Gen Z movement was born. And that is when the public voices was born. And now President William Ruto is so cornered. Now President William Ruto, even nobody wants to listen to him. He wanted to be the one to control everything, but now nobody wants to listen to President William Ruto. The public is so done with him, to a point that he is now going back to his people. You see, when a leader feels like nobody wants him around, he normally goes back to his people to try and at least to get that confidence back. And that is what President William Ruto is doing. He was in cases the other day. There is also a clip doing rounds on social media. He's talking about with the Kalenjins in Kalenjin language, and that is an affirmation that the president is so tensed, and the president is trying to go back to his people because he knows that there are people who are just going to welcome him back. So he's trying to get the confidence back from his people. It has been so long to hear President William Ruto speak in Kalenjin. It has been so long. But now he's doing so. Why? Because he's so terrified. He's so shaken. He has lost everything. He has lost everything. And you see, now you don't even know what to do. And that is the reason you see the likes of Kinasudi coming up to making some reckless statement. Because they are so terrified. They are so shaken. They know that their time is up. And Kenyans have no time for them. So the president, the only way the president can come back from this, I don't know if he can come back from this, but he can try to do something. He can try at least do something. And that something is, for these remaining years, President William Ruto needed to come up with a very impactful project that can at least lower down the anger in people. But we see the biggest mistake President William Ruto is doing is campaigning. That is the biggest mistake he's currently doing. And I said it in my previous videos that him at the president has officially started his campaign, and he started it in cases when Faramadim was making that statement, was insulting us. That was the official launch of President William Ruto's 2027 campaign. And that is the biggest mistake he's doing. I now want to believe that President William Ruto does not listen to his advisors, because this is not the right time to campaign, if you ask me. President William Ruto is making a very big mistake. The public is at rage. Watu wamekasirika, and now you're starting a campaigns, and we all know how your campaigns are. It's not even an issue-based campaign. It's about politics, it is just dirty politics. So he's making it worse by starting to campaign right now. And now the small hopes that some people had in him is vanishing, because now seeing a president in campaign mode is just like, okay, it is done. He's so done with us. He's so done, and there is nothing he's planning to do for us. So 3 years, is he going to campaign for 3 years? I think the president really need to have people. I don't know. But if the likes of Akinasudi are the ones to determine how things are going on in this country, then for sure, what we're witnessing is not by mistake. It is because we are being led by people who don't understand what they want or what Kenyans want. So those people are going to resign. I think they are going to shake this government more. The cracks are widening, and I think this is going to destroy President William Ruto even further, because I know President William Ruto is injured. Deep down, he's a man who's so injured. He's a man who feels defeated, but is trying as much as possible to stand strong, because everybody is hating at him. Those resigning, we have the Gen Zs on social media who are just frustrating him, especially on international levels. Right now, they are sending mails to Netherlands telling the Queen, King William, and his Queen not to step in Kenya, because this is an hotbed of abductions. So they are telling him that we are dealing with our issues, and this is not the right time to come to Kenya. And this is really frustrating President William Ruto. And I've also seen that Kenyans are sending, they're planning to send messages to Brazil, because the climate summit will be happening in Brazil, next climate summit. And that they are telling them not to invite President William Ruto. So you see, he's being a man who is being cornered. He's a man who is so cornered that the home ground imemkata, and on international level, people are also shying away from him. Because when was the last time you see a foreigner, just an official coming to visit Ruto at State House? It has been so long. We don't see those foreigners tripping in Kenya before, like it was before. So President William Ruto is so frustrated. Every Kenyan now has a voice, and Kenyans are becoming fearless day by day. So he's a man who is so cornered, and the worst thing is, he doesn't have good advisors to tell him tone down the campaigns. Or if he has, then he doesn't listen. President William Ruto, this is not the right time to campaign. This is not the right time to campaign, if you ask me. So While you might have lost the ground, but at least do something. Just do something that makes Kenya, at least for those who believe in you, to at least have something to say. But starting campaigning at this moment is making everything worse. You are making even the situation worse than it is. So for those who are going, I predict that more people will resign. More people will resign from President William Ruto's government, especially those from the mountain and also others outside the mountain. Because from the look of things, it doesn't look good. People have detached, the majority, the masses, have detached themselves from President William Ruto. And you know, in politics, what matters is what the people, the number. So for all the ambitious people who wants to go back to secure those political seats, I think a majority of them will just quit this government because they see no future associating themselves with President William Ruto. It is a tough moment, but even the likes of Akina Sudi are making it even worse by just making statements that is breaking this country further. We don't want politics of division. We want politics of unity. And one thing for sure is this. These politicians want these discussions around the economy and all that. No, they want to bring in the tribal card because they feel safe with the tribal politics, because they've been riding on that tribal politics for so long. And so right now, as young people are trying to change the conversation, they feel so insecure, and that is the reasons you see these people making those statements, because they want us to go back to tribal politics. But for Gen Zs, it is time to shut that down. That tribal politics must be shut down completely. The conversation moving forward should be around issue-based politics. We must talk about our debts. We must talk about how we are doing as a country in agriculture sector. Those are the questions. Those are the issues that must be put up. The tribal politics is done, is gone, and Kenyans, the young people, all Kenyans must not allow the politicians to come back with their tribal politics, because we must have a country that moves forward, not going backward. So for president, more people will resign, that is for sure. And this is really making President William Ruto weaker, because you see, when everybody runs away from you, sometimes is not, for a leader, is not a good thing. And also to the outside community, those outside Kenya, it gives them a picture that for somebody of that the president might not like it. So for people getting out of the government is really making President William Ruto weaker, and it is exposing him. Is exposing him, and is becoming vulnerable politically. So a lot is going to happen. I predict a lot is going to happen in this moment moving forward, because people are now trying to see the politicians and now thinking about the future, and nobody wants to associate themselves with a loser. And for me, I think Kenyans are so done with this government. They're just waiting for elections for them to send a strong message to these politicians and to the world. So that is it for me for today. Thanks for watching. This is Sophia Live.